Good day everyone, this is Junaid Khan and I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. The topic I've picked today is going to be about misrepresentation and withholding facts. This is really important to think about it. First of all, we need to know what is misrepresentation and what does it mean withholding facts. So misrepresentation had different categories, which sometimes we try to do it deliberately and sometimes we don't even know that we are misrepresenting in our application, or we are withholding facts in our application, which could lead us to have a huge consequences and even in the worst case scenarios getting a ban from the country. So this is going to be a generic video. I mean, I know for the fact in regards to the different countries' policies, if you're talking about US, if you're talking about Canada, UK, Australia, and any other country, that if you try to present something else who you actually are, or show something else who you actually are, that could lead to the huge consequences. And I want people to pay attention on this topic. It is regularly practiced. I have seen in multiple cases. So what is misrepresentation? Misrepresentation means that you are not providing the actual documents, what your actual case is. You know, people sometimes misrepresent their jobs. That they're doing something else, but just because the case is going to be strong if they provide some other documents, so they're using a different documents. People try to enhance their salaries, that whatever they're making, they try to show they're making even more money than that. The bank statements, the information, especially the forms. So any other document which are required, you are putting in by scanning them and putting in your application. These are the one document. Second, the most important one is the forms you are filling for any immigration services. So specifically, if we talk about Canadian visas, there are multiple forms in every application. So if you're applying for a visit visa, there are 3 forms. If you're applying for a study permit, there are 3 to 4 forms. And if you are applying for immigration, express entry, PNP, there are multiple forms that you have to fill. Make sure, please make sure that you read the question properly. Now, if you haven't read the question properly and you answered that questions, and that answer might lead to think an immigration officer that they could be not right, that is going to be a misrepresentation. But of course, you haven't done it deliberately, but it happened because you haven't read the question well. So you have to really pay attention while filling up your forms. And if you go to the forms, every single form have a separate topic that how to fill it, and there are most of the time there are tips to fill up the forms as well. So make sure you read the question carefully and you answer them very well. In multiple forms, there is a question that have you ever applied before? And people sometimes don't know the dates that when they have applied before. First thing and the foremost, do not try to hide information. You think they don't know it, but they absolutely know it. There are 2 different portals to apply applications, and sometimes people try to apply from one portal, and if it gets refused, they try to apply for another portal. I mean, you can use both portals, you can do that, but if your intentions are that they would not know that we have applied before, that is absolutely wrong. They have the complete history, they have everything already in the record according to your application number and UCI number, which Canada always put in your application, which is Universal Client Identification Number. So all of your information is going to be under that UCI number. And even if you applied 10 years ago, I mean, I personally have I have dealt with one of the situations before. Unfortunately, one of my clients did not really explain me well and completely withhold one information that he applied for Canada 27 years ago, that he has been to Canada 27 years ago. Now, according to him, it's been so long, and definitely if there are some issues, immigration will not point out because it's been 27 years. But when I was filling up the form, I asked multiple times, have you ever been to Canada? Because that's the question in the form. Now, if you answer me no, that means you've never been to Canada. And if you've been to Canada, no matter how long ago, they will find out and they will definitely have to question it, and the consequences are going to be huge. The story I just mentioned, it's about the withholding facts. They're asking you something, but you're not telling them. So these are the withholding facts. Make sure you do not withhold any information. If anything happened before, just let them know. That will not harm your application at all. Your previous refusal will not have impact on your upcoming profile, because if your file is refused, if you go to the second page, because most of the time they send a 2-pager document as a refusal. So if you go to the second page, it literally says on it that you can reapply your application, but make sure whatever points we have mentioned, you have worked on it. So you worked on it, you reapply, and most of the time it happens to me with a lot of study permit application and visitor visa application that they get approved in a second time. So that is not a problem. But if you try to hide that information, if you try to withhold that information, that can cause or lead to a big disaster. Okay. Now, in regards to the misrepresentation, please do not temper any document. Please make a proper scan of the document, and please use the right information. Even if you think your case is not going to be strong, but do not misrepresent it, because the consequences is going to be a ban on yourself. So I have seen multiple people having ban on themselves. And honestly speaking, if I talk about a couple of years ago, seeing a ban from Canada was a once in a blue moon situation, and I have not seen that from last couple of years. If I talk about today, I have seen multiple people in Pakistan, I have seen multiple people in UAE, and a lot of people in India. They are not getting refusals on the application, they're actually getting banned from Canada, and the ban is going to be for 5 years. So 5 years ban, and in some cases you have to complete your rehabilitation period as well. So if you combine these, you're talking about 10 years or maybe 5 years, but at least you have a very bad reputation now with immigration. And most of the immigration, especially services, they are using the combined software. So if you're getting banned from Canada and you're traveling to US now, or you want to apply for a US visa, a visit visa or any visa, now you cannot withhold that. You cannot really hide this information, because they might know, and they definitely will know, that you are already banned from Canada. So consequences is huge. Please not jeopardize this whole situation. Please do not do that. So getting a refusal is not an issue. You can get it refused, you can reapply several times. I have multiple cases last year and this year as well. People are getting their application accepted even after 7 refusals. If I counted, I have about 5 students who got their study permit approved after like 4 or 5 refusals from US and Canada. But end of the day, they got approved. We did not hold anything. We did not show any misrepresentation. We did not show any document which was not, we have done it before. But you have to be consistent with the process, and eventually you will get approved when your application makes sense. But if any time you withhold it information or you misrepresent it, the consequences are going to be getting banned from any country. Not just Canada. Withholding information is illegal, and misrepresentation is illegal as well. So please be careful with your application and make sure you consult the right person before you put in your application. Thank you very much.